Okay, and welcome back. We're picking it where we left off last time in Field of Glory Empires as Persia. As we're continuing to carry out the war against Lydia, there's a little bit of back and forth. One of the territories that we had previously had defected to us from Lydia, the Lydians were able to take back in the intervening period. We're moving troops to try to take that back. We've got our second army that's less sort of militarily effective than the first one, moving up to eventually do some cleanup tasks as well. I don't suspect the Lydians are going to be too much of a problem. For another reason, we really haven't seen a large army from them yet. I think I may have been through already and done the provinces for this turn, the last part. Yeah. So we should be good to get the end turn here and see how the war carries out. Taking a quick look to make sure I'm not leaving any regional decisions on the table. Okay, so there appears to be the leading main armies. There's a 14 and an 11. Of course, the 14 is happily overrunning the garrison there, where 28 happily runs over the garrison there. The territory just handed back and forth. That's fine. We are now the young empire of Persia. So now the recruitment one is more men to more money. So we're tier 3. We're now known as the Empire of Persia. Anyway, so done. We just did that one. Can I do not so precious iron as well? Yeah. And we have that defeat Babylon objective. We'll see if we can defeat Babylon in the next 28 turns. The modifier Virtuous Administration has been added and the previous one removed. Okay. So we lost that territory. That was an objective. But we gained a territory, so our objective progress stayed basically the same. Another Federate Barbarian. So let's do that Federate Barbarian. Actually, can I... I'll pull that off the moment. Can I do that on these guys down here? No. These guys are apparently not considered barbarians. Fair enough. Okay, so we can do that move. We'll try to do that move. They're going to overrun that place, which I'm surprised that Lydia now owns that. They didn't own that. And I don't see them having moved any troops in there to get that, but... Oh, I see how they did. They put up a... There's a thing the Greeks can do, which is like implant trade settlement. They just completed an implant trade settlement here, is what happened. We're in range for the papyrus, so we'll do one preceptor house there, and then try to get enough guys on infrastructure duty to get it done in a turn. There we go. We can now probably get away with a lot less people on culture. So I'm going to back off in a little places where we have citizens on culture. We still don't really want to be in the declining tier, but I definitely am no rush to get back into the progressing tier. I'd rather get things built. So we just do 2 provinces. That's probably enough for accelerating things for the moment. We'll slowly work our way through it, like a province or 2 at a time. Archery range. Don't gotta... Well, I know what I want here. I want health buildings. We got the 2 health buildings we're looking for. I want infrastructure buildings, want agriculture buildings, and barring those, then we probably want the archery range, but pass for the moment. Which means actually all these guys are going to go on food, because we're going to try to grow more people in the meantime. Because the reroll needs exactly one infrastructure and no more. Lots to build here. Your horseback raiders are going to want stables, so if I can pull stables and we didn't pull one, we do that. It's expensive, but we'll take it. Ooh, public works or cult site. Because of the large number of guys that need to culture convert, we're going to go to the cult site first. So the road is tempting. Okay, there's no idols. So once again, we advance, turn. We caught a Lydian army, 28 versus 11, in open plain. So we're about to watch a bloodbath on the Lydian side. Yeah, no survivors even to make it to the retreat phase. It's 15 versus 1, so we're just going to skip that battle. This is another big battle. 28 versus 10. This is in the hills, so this is a little bit better defensive position for the Lydians here. Lydian hoplites. So these guys are no pushovers, but they have been attrited by arrows. In fact, if they weren't attrited by arrows, this wouldn't be a good fight. This is 8 versus 7, and that's even with exhausting them. You make them tired. We're reliant a little bit on the minimum roll here. We do get it. This isn't hoplites we don't have as much of a problem with, though it's still not a great day for them. I feel like this is going to be a stalemate. Oh, I think that just ruined it for them. Pursuit, yeah, I ruined it for them. There they go, crippling the enemy army there. The ruins escape into the neighboring territory. Oof. Okay, so yeah, I need to rapidly reduce our culture generation. We're making too much again. We're back up in the top of the tree. Health regulation, sanitation works. Building development. Oh, I really want the money for this. We don't have the money for this. Maybe that's what I'll do with all the people that are on culture right now. We'll put them on money. Okay, so most of the territories in our face here are unfortified. So it's simply passing through, destroying any opposition in our path. Just sort of zigzagging through until we get to there. That's going to be the first one that's actually fortified. We'll see if we run into any real resistance while doing that. Canis' new objective. Okay, so the game's going like, yeah, your real enemy at this point is Egypt. Thanks. I already recognized that was going to be the enemy in the long run, but it's also the enemy now, apparently. Stop the local administration. Bandit activities on the rise, because of course they are. Can we give you a good defensive general? Yeah. Hopefully that's enough to get you to succeed against the bandits. And then we'll try moving you in. One of those two will get that fight successfully, hopefully. Oh, and we got rebels there. Assume that's rebels. So we'll get you ready to receive the onslaught. I suspect that's coming from this. And we'll from time to time launch quick raids against the... Yeah, that's where it's coming from. So we want that to go away, but it hasn't gone away. We'll build a cult site here. Oh, the bonus of building a cult site here is we'd be able to import the ceramics if we build all the way up. So we will do that. We've got a ceramics maker here. We're 3 territories away, so we actually have a trade range out to 4 now that we're in Empire tier. So this is in trade range. So we just need to get it up to the level where it is where we import ceramics off the major temple. And then that'll provide the ceramics bonus here. And here. I don't need that much infrastructure, right? 60, yeah. We have another 26. Still have the cult site though. I don't think that fort's going to come into siege, though it is tempting to do the siege workshop anyway. So as to work up to tier 3 military buildings for the military academy. We've already got 4 of 6 buildings we need to do that. And yeah, probably be something like siege works and training grounds for the other 2. And we have leather imports. Let's do that. It's maybe not the best building, but it's a usable building, which is sometimes all you need. You are wanting to work towards Builders Guild, so you want to work up your infrastructure line. You can get lumber, so that's not a bad idea. It's not the best idea, but it's not a bad idea. Sometimes that's all that matters. You're far enough away that I think you can only get papyrus. That's what you're 1, 2, 3, 4. I think you can get papyrus if you have the regional road, so we're going to be the regional before the preceptor house in hopes that gets you papyrus. Okay, food's a bit of an issue here, but the new territory pops can go work food and that'll be fine. That fixes that problem. 2 open slots. You don't... Actually, what's the provincial? Is this the... This is the cataphracts. This is the cataphracts. So the cataphracts would actually, because of the provincial cataphracts here, it may actually be real worth picking up armor for the equipment so we can build the cataphracts reasonably quickly. On the other hand, we got Caucasian citizens to convert, so let's build the gold site first. You kind of need a fort to put the siege resist on before you can get siege resist bonus. That matters. Let's build towards that land reclamation instead of more culture. I think I've got enough culture. Unless I'm specifically looking to get up to tier 3 culture, tier 2 culture buildings for loyalty in places. Let's grow the granary. We're adjacent to flat plains, so we should be able to get grain there for the granary to be very effective. We'll do the wall upgrade. Land expansion. You wanted the armor. You've got the armor. Grab a farm. Grab the brickworks. You don't need the cult site building here unless I'm specifically trying to use you to import ceramics. And that would be the place in the area to import the ceramics too, I suppose. So maybe going with the cult site line would not be a bad idea there. Let's get ceramics imports. Public works. You could go with more loyalty. Other hand, this would be, I was just talking about, oh, we can get the grain in the neighboring province and the neighboring territory for that one. So, we'll do that for the grain. Okay, and then I was going to do culture guys onto money. To boost the money production, because we got something where we want like another 2,000 or some money. And honestly, I would like to know in the short run, rather than the long run, if we've got enough culture to stay stable or even progressing here without them on culture. Slowly working through all the provinces, one by one. The last couple didn't have any culture in them anyway. And then we got an idol. You don't need the loyalty bonus yet. Let's work towards that line expansion. Oh, and this is definitely a place where we need a province. Make you the provincial capital. Build a road. You can be removed by Shepherd's House. Presented the Shepherd's House? No. Well, not yet. Maybe in the future. And no more idols. Okay. Haven't likely rolled any... No, I haven't rolled any prospect resources yet, so I'll cycle the turn. See your army go forward in the Lydian territory. So there's the rebels. Can the garrison hold? Garrison held. The raiders try to raid, and they have a bad day. To be fair, the garrison doesn't have a great day either, but some Lydian forces that are woefully inadequate to the problem they're facing. Okay, so we made that change and we dropped all of 3 steps. So yeah, we're making way too much culture now that we're no longer having our age penalty applied to us. And then we have a couple other things kicking in that are actually reducing our decadence reduction that are temporary. And we've got the virtuous administration. minus 20% decadence gain. That's not going to hang around forever. It's going to go away probably. When it does, I'm going to have a bad day. But for the moment, we have it. Okay, our forces continue forward. Don't think we had any fresh defection. Oh, no, wait, yeah, no fresh defections. Babylon has fallen. So we've got the question here is, we may at some point have more Babylon defecting to us, to be fair. Working on Lydia. And they're the last nations where we're gonna have random provinces defecting to us from. So, anything to build in the capital? No, unless I want to build troops. But right now we're trying to save up money. We've got enough money. Not enough money. That I want to do that one. That's going to cost 3,000 something to do. I don't have an academy. So no emporium for me. No trade emporium for me is what's going on. Yeah, no trade emporium for me. Yes, the difficult situations. I can't put everyone on food because we actually need someone on infrastructure because we don't have enough infrastructure in the province to maintain everything when everyone's off of infrastructure. Oh, the horror. You want an armor. You can roll into an armor, and that's probably what you should be rolling for. We will take the crafting district, though. Ooh, 8 build slots. That's a definite please build here, please. City walls are fine. But say castle walls, and it's not a castle. Hunter-gatherer wants armor. Do I reroll for our armor? Yeah, we reroll for armor. Brickworks. And clean water. I think I'm going to take a turn or two more of this income rate, and then we'll push the guys that are on money back into construction. Because I'm definitely happy about the amount of money we're getting right now. Because if we had an academy, I'd be doing something with the academy, but academy is the tier 3 preceptor house building, and we haven't built enough yet to get them up to tier 3. So I know what I gotta do to get that decision, but we're not there yet. This is maybe a place I should build the slave market. I usually like to centralize the slave markets near the sort of where I consider my capital region to be. That's fine, that's fine. We've got some building slots here. Could do the charcoal power pile to import the lumber. Which would produce some coal. We don't necessarily need the coal everywhere. And it can already be imported apparently here to other places. Although, I don't necessarily know how easy it is to import coal. So we'll do the charcoal pile here anyway. And look at the trade details. The bloomery. So I'd have to be going out of my way to make bloomeries to move the coal around. So it's maybe not the end of the world if I am not doing that. Because bloomery is not a building I frequently build. It's a building that's worth building if you're trying to move the coal around, but it's not what I'm frequently building. Street Poller, yeah. So we have access to the papyrus there. It's worth building. Public works. 6 building slots, so you definitely want to be building. I'm not sure I want to build that in such a vulnerable place yet. So this is... I suppose historically this is actually 7 years late, but this is the capital city of the Persians, or the Parsa in ancient Persian, or Persepolis, was a marvelable hold that would be unsurpassed potentially as construction of the mountain, which contained it, had a most complex sewer system of its time, used melted snow stored in massive reservoirs. Place of power and culture. So this has it requires marble, which we don't actually have the ability to import right now, so that's why it's expensive. It costs food. This region doesn't really have any food. Does it provide any loyalty? It provides a little bit of loyalty, which this place is having a loyalty problem, but I think we need more. This is probably not the building we want for it. That provides a lot of health. It's providing a decent amount of culture, and it provides a dex introduction. I'm just not sure this is exactly where we want it. I'd probably actually rather build it in my capital, like the place that we started the country, rather than here. Yeah. But yeah, very tempting, hard to pass up. This is the world wonder. It'll come up. This is our world wonder. It will come up. No one else can roll this. It's just not where we want it. Let's be fair. It's just not where we want it. That's why we're passing up. I put those guys on culture to just stabilize the province. Shepherd's house. I don't need the wool that badly. There's ways to move the wool around. I would do the tavern if we had wine. We don't have wine. Furnace. Got the bonus from iron. No, doesn't have... Oh. Needs iron, and we don't actually have any iron in trade range. So we'll pass on that. We'll do brickworks instead. Okay, so we can stabilize the province that way. Did we have any spare food there? We do. Get another 8 food. Swell to production. Oh, and now we're on to the loose ones. Like you. Oh, of course, the Egyptians hold the other 2 territories in the province. Temple. Or not temple, monument. And that was the only idle loose one. So we advance the time. Advance the turn. $28 versus 5. The army, of course, wins. Apparently, we're not the only ones at war with the Lydia. Byzantium has decided to join the dog pile. I took everyone off of culture production, and our culture to decadence ratio is actually going up and not down. Yep. We may struggle not trying to become a glorious empire, apparently. I don't need to incite slaves to revolt. I can free the slaves, or can prove the slave rights. Or can free some of them. Region has a government building like courthouse or palace, that's a chance of returning acquired estate. Or 50% chance of getting a single slave to a citizen if not. Regions with the slave market lose 10 loyalty, other regions lose 5. or it can get paid to reduce the slave rights. Don't think that's the way to go. All slaves in your nation get a permanent increase of 1. Yeah, no. That doesn't sound good. Especially because the reward is temporary. Yeah, I'm going to try to reduce the unrest of slaves by going that option. Okay, our frankly fairly bad monarch here is about to end up old and dead. Instead of just old. Okay, so next turn we'll overrun 2 Lydian territories. And we'll see how Byzantium here helps out with our conquest of Lydia. We now have an open building slot over here. At some point we are going to need to get up to tier 3 culture buildings. I think I will take the city wall upgrade for the moment, but it was tempting to go with the other option. Another 16. Here we go. Yeah. So you're looking for an armor. Only got 1 open slot, so we will reroll in the hopes of finding it. Suppose I'm looking for the regional road here and the land expansion. So we'll do a reroll here in the hopes of hitting those. Which means I really don't need all these people for infrastructure reasons. Let's put them on food instead. Even though this is pretty bad territory for making food. These provinces up here in this portion of the Caucasus will never get very big. Well, unless they end up with a bunch of slaves. So that's not really the path I want to go with for loyalty. Pleasure house. Trading tents, because we have access to silk, is not that bad. No good way to get the dates, frankincense, or ivory in. I'm going to pass on you. Let's go for the quant. So quant isn't a Persian special building. Rather, it's a building that anyone in the Fertile Crescent area, or anyone who starts in the Fertile Crescent area can build. So Sparta couldn't build it, for example, but it's not specifically a Persian building. I suppose we'll go the quarry here. It'll give us a health penalty, but I think we can work with that. And there isn't very many places currently right now with a bunch of stone. And if I want marble, that's actually probably a better way to think about it. And if I want marble, and we do need to eventually have marble to send places, the marble quarry is a building hidden behind the quarry. So you have to research, you have to build the quarry. And then occasionally when you're rolling, you may find the marble quarry if you have a quarry already. Or, I think technically it's the marble vein. And that's a way to get marble anywhere. Well, anywhere you can build the quarry, and you can build the quarry anywhere that sells. Or mountains. Working on line expansion. New slot there. Go with the quant. Ooh, regional road. Five open slots. You still need the people on culture to keep you stable. Work on the street prowler. You're also going to get a bit more grumpy when that decision kicks in, and we take the 5, possibly 10 loyalty penalty in various places. Okay, and on the loose ones, you're loose. Given the circumstances where you might get embroiled in some fighting, let's actually put the watchtower there to give you more garrison. And we now have enough to actually make that a province. And yeah, that's in the running for the provincial capital, so we make that the provincial capital. And then build the Oration Tribune to give you some loyalty. Do we have coral to import? No, we're currently out of range for the coral here. Coastal market, getting the bonuses from fish. So if you weren't blockaded, apparently, you're apparently classed as blockaded. But you probably classed as blockaded because there's no, harbor. Fair enough. Or we can do the charcoal pit. Just hit the reroll here. I think that would have been decent fish market if it wasn't blockaded, I think. Could do the well. 8 food is not bad. Or yeah, I should build the Tribune. At some point I need to work to getting up the culture levels. Okay, that's all the idols. We did have that decision to turn men into money in the army now. Get the money reward for that. Advance the turn. Okay, another victory for us there. Another victory for us there. Yep. Looks like a Lydian territory simply just defects to us. We just had this decision. Well, we're gonna go the same way again. Reform, citizen rights, free... Actually, no, I went with the... It doesn't go through the thing here. Run slaves a few extra rights. Yeah, let's go... Oh no, this is citizenship status, not the slave rights. We'll go reform citizen rights. A series of reforms and laws touching on the rights and duties of the citizens issued. The government intends to gain efficiency and stability from this decision. Government age is reduced by 1/3. Technically not reducing our decadence right now, or decadence because we're not being affected by our age, but delaying the onset of that when we do hit glorious. There's a 50% chance we're going to lose our progress token unless our ruler is a good administrator or better. So we're probably going to lose our progress token, which I'm just fine with. That's fine. That's not a problem. And our guy's a poor administrator, so yeah, he's probably going to lose that progress token. Okay, let's start having you walk down this way, because we're going to think about a war with Babylonia once we're done with the Lydians. And at this point, I don't think you're not even going to be able to get to any of the territories we need you to get to if you were to come help. So, yeah. Fair enough, right? Because you're just going to be running slower than this guy, and that guy's going to take everything except for the one walled settlement in like one turn as he walks through them. In fact, we can speed him up. Force march, go faster. Okay, we can get a public works here. Build a quant, which, if we've got the infrastructure capacity to build it, is just a good thing to build. The big cost to it is that it's expensive to build. Right, it takes a lot of infrastructure to build it. Crash on the road, which apparently doesn't take very much. 200 for, well, 200 for a 0 slot's not that bad, because 0 slots are just good. But 200 is a lot. Like, it's not a lot, it's not like wonder level, but it's a lot. Okay, you're in Papyrus importing range, so yeah, grab the Preceptor House. Even though technically we're really going for armor here, but go for the Preceptor House. Good enough that I'm willing to not re-roll into the armorer there. Yes, it's also the armorer. You do the re-roll here. Monument. Regional roads, nice. Then we move as many guys as we can. I think we can put everyone here on back onto infrastructure. Slowing the growth down a lot. That's fine. 2 open slots. Land expansion. Which will be 3 empty slots when it's done. Monument. Yeah, I suppose at this point, have I done... No. So, well, not money. Let's go ahead and start taking these guys off of money making, put them back on infrastructure so we can build faster. I do need money income, but I don't need a lot of money income. And I think I need to grow these provinces. Well, I need to grow the ones that aren't in the Fertile Crescent to actually be worth, like, owning. Right about there is close enough. Next one, a little bit of money here that we can turn into infrastructure. Tempting. I'm going to pass on it, but tempting. Let's go blacksmith. That'll get me access to 2 commerce buildings. There's an argument, and I'm actually going to make that argument here. This province, because of this modifier right here, it's not making infrastructure there. Well, actually, we have the commerce penalty too. Fine, make the infrastructure there. It's about to go like, it isn't worth building here. It doesn't make worth the food there, but that's fine. Okay. Slave market, public works. It's probably gonna save like a turn on each. Tribune. You don't make enough culture to actually get the loyalty bonus there. And we don't need to make money, so go all the way in infrastructure. Open building slot. Sick animals. You actually want the herbalist. You're not being offered it right now, but you want it. Four open slots. I suppose improving the slave rates might have actually helped a little bit on the unrest. Okay, so we got you stable with everyone off of culture making. Memory serves, there's no way to actually import fish. Which was one of the goods that doesn't have a need. Yeah. Places that get bonuses, the Garum Shop, the Coastal Market, Thassalon Temple, etc. But no places needs it, so you can't move it around, you just have to make it locally. You're stable, so let's not upset that balance. Move a couple guys off of food. A guy off of food. You need some more people on food. Okay. We're basically getting most stability from culture from here, so don't worry about that. Okay. And we need one person here in the capital region to make food. You make food. Here we go. And then we're on the loose ones. Such as here. Public Works. You are, now that we are Empire tier, you're in Papyrus import range. I think you're not being offered it, so don't even need to figure that out right now. And that's all the idols. Okay, we've arrived. Garrison falls. Byzantium has taken another one of the Lydian territories. And we're still in the progressing tier. It did cost us that progress token. The decision. But that was fine. Lydian emissaries reaches the offer of peace. I think I'm going to tell them no. Yeah, no. Break the treaty. And you want me to give you manpower or metal? Fine. Simply, the Persian alliance of the Dahe led both to a war against Sarmatia. Did the Sarmatians declare on me? Or did they declare on the Dame? I think they declared on the Dahe. That's probably what happened. We're about to give 200 men away, so we're not going to turn them into money. No, go by land. There's this whole thing we called we don't have a fleet to escort you. And I think I wouldn't be surprised the Lydians actually have a fleet, and the fleet's gonna win against you, let's just say. Form citizen rights. Where's a bandit activity? Yeah, it's bandit activity, alright. Okay, well these guys are gonna fight. That guy's the commander, so he's gonna lead the command. That's fine. I think the only problem is I might not be attacking there, but it'll be fine. Again, this is not really where we want the horse recruiting location. Go do the trading tents. We got silk, ivory, or silk, frankincense, and ivory. Dates is the only thing we're missing, so that's a pretty decent money source. Worship place wouldn't be bad. Actually, that'd be a pretty good worship place. 20 culture. Not that I need culture. Actually, the thought process of not that I need culture, I should probably go for the smokehouse for the food health. Because we need the city to be growing, not generating culture right now. Yeah, this is probably a place to put a guard tower in. I'm still surprised that this hasn't cleared, but it's only a 2% chance for the stable. So the but the expectation is mean time of 50 turns. And then you want the armor. We'll go the reroll here for the armor. You can move a bunch of people off of food. Get a bunch more construction. That's fine. Build slot there. Sure, build the brickworks. There's an argument to running all the way up to tier 3 infrastructure buildings. Which at this point would be like Wheelmaker, Warehouse, Builder Hall. Tier 3 would give me the upgrade on the land expansion, which is another build slot as well. So I think I'm going to go with that logic here. We'll make this a good place for building. Potter produces pottery. Except this place can import it from Persia, so we're not rushing to do that. Got no wine to make, or wine to import, and it can't be grown in the region. We can import lumber from the neighboring province. Coal can be imported from a couple different places, but this would give us an infrastructure building. The coal, or move the lumber around a little bit. Granted, we'll move the lumber around other ways as well, so I should probably not do that. This just needs lumber. Provides equipment. Probably don't need the equipment, because that's just recruitment, but... Well, I also get the Iranian armored cavalry a little bit faster, because they're pretty heavy equipment-wise. Well, for volcanic terrain, we probably don't want the clay pit. Oh, and the other buildings, we probably want our population capped. They need population prevented, because we need a minimum amount of population for them. So honestly, I probably don't want anything here. Stables is not too bad. We're not going to go stables here. Okay. So that's just a reroll, I think. Is there things we'd build there? Yes. Really, it probably wants to rely on the person. Here you want worship place. Worship places requires a certain number of people, so you can't build worship place yet. Work on the quant. Clear water. Ranch. Let's go to the salt house, move the salt around a little bit. Get that health bonus. And food. Those health buildings are probably some of the best food buildings in the mountains anyway. Eric's got lots of build slots. Because of where this is, this probably does make sense to wall. Spend a building slot on a wall. Okay. Now we're into the loose ones. You're loose. For now. It probably isn't going to stay that way for very long, but... You're loose. You're going to stay that way until we're at war with Egypt. do a wall here. Okay. And yeah, we're waiting for that war against, or finish up the war against Lydia, and then we start a war probably against Babylon. So let's cycle the turn. Okay, this is probably a fight we win. It's not necessarily a fight our general or the archer survive, but as I said, it's probably a fight we win, not necessarily a fight that we like winning. We get a nice stable or nice progressing young empire level right now. Mutually beneficial transaction treaty. Persia is now helping Dahe against the despicable Bactria. Freeman laws again. Okay, so we're gonna improve slave rights because we did it last time. In theory, if we do that enough, the slaves will be some of the best yield to unrest pops we have. Gain some metal law at the expense of one of the Greeks. They're sieging our place. We're walking as fast as we can. We'll be sieging their place in 3 turns. Shepherd's House, Ranch, Salt Mine, Hemp Field, or Flax Field. Okay, so if we want to get to tier 2 food buildings here, I will have to build one of those. Bank. We'd have to import gold, and it's not worth building because gold is expensive, and there's no gold to import. Right now, this is a border territory. It probably doesn't make sense to build palisades here. I was thinking of maybe doing the smokehouse, but no, we'll do the palisades because it's a border area. Bit awkward because that's one of the things when you're playing Persia is often all the juicy stuff is to your west, so your starting area is actually fairly undefended eastward. We're kind of actually hoping that some of the civilized people, like or hoping that our allies, which aren't having the best of days up here in the northeast, or that the Indians come westward to protect our eastern flank. But they don't always do that. Well, that's an uncomfortably exposed flank. I may need to do something about that. Because I realized I'm at war with these guys. The revolting tag here. And the revolting tag is, as a side effect, right on my border. Okay, so these guys are probably going to merge up with these guys and march east. Because I need them to. So, we've got 5 of those guys. Mostly fighting in the hills. So we probably just need 1 more medium infantry. Oh, now that we're Empire tier, we do have access to the close fighters. Interesting. Don't even know if these are actually worth us building, but we can build them. And well, actually, they're probably arguably something worth building now that we've run the Immortals up to quite an expensive amount. Yeah, we're gonna build one of those guys, and we're gonna build some cavalry to protect the flanks to the stack. We're gonna bring east to deal with the Bactricians, and maybe some of the other people are at war with over here. Help our ally out a bit. Okay. So you want an armor? I'm going to be lured astray by the sweet promise of more food, because this region could do with a bit more food. Regional road. Land expansion. If we wanted stability, Gladiator School is pretty good for that. Although we probably want weapons being made first. Because 16 loyalty is about 2 people worth of loyalty. 2 late game people worth of loyalty. They're better buildings from the tier 3, but for a tier 2 building, it's pretty good. You have access to the orchard. The orchard would make the better third food building. So we'll go smokehouse here. Oh, actually going back there. Let's move some guys over from food to get the buildings done a little bit faster. One, maybe 2 more? Oh, there you go. We should finish all 3 of those buildings in 1 turn. This place is far enough away from the water. I think we need the garden tower. We'll go to the crafting district. We're right next to the ceramic maker, so we don't need the temple to be maximally upgraded to get or right next to the ceramics to import the ceramics, because we mainly need it for the adjacency bonuses. Yeah, let's go to the monument here. Three, 2, and a 1, so lots of build slots that we want to put things in. Still size 2, so you don't really do what we want to do. Guard tower is not a bad military building for military expertise reasons. It'll just disappear at some point. Take clear water. Health is health. Let's do the Tribune here. At some point I do need to take this territory over so I can import marble from it, instead of just getting the adjacency bonus from the marble. But for the moment, the adjacency bonus is enough. Farm's tempting. I think we're going to go with smokehouse, though. You're looking for stables, but we didn't roll that. These people want conversions, so we'll go cult site. Training ground or the harbor? I think we're going to the training ground. Harbor is tempting, though. You could probably do a little more loyalty, and the Tribune will give you that. Meat parlor from the Papyrus is nice. Okay, now we're onto the loose ones, like so. We don't have pottery to import there. Don't have a leather import there. And I'd rather you use the smokehouse than the ranch to get cattle there, so do a reroll. City walls. Okay, that's all the idols. Any regional decisions you want to use? No. Let's end the turn, pass some time. I'm going to run this part a little bit long because I want to finish off the Lydians in it. So we'll end this part when we finish with the Lydians. Which might not be very long, seeing as one of the 2 remaining provinces, or 2 remaining territories that had just defected to us. They are proposing peace. probably not one we're willing to accept. Yeah, no. Oh, they have the island. Did not realize they had the island. Okay, I may leave them alive with the island. Okay, so we're going to do a counter proposal instead of just an outright rejection. So don't give us all that stuff. Give me everything I've taken from you. Oh, they're not even willing to negotiate that. Okay, that's fair. Then this is an outright rejection. Seeing as I need to go out to that island, well, the war's going to take longer than I think I want to wait before I end this part. We'll probably finish up Lydia next time. So there's a chance that one will defect, or our army will finally get there. That one defecting is actually going to be the one we kind of need for the war to end. Once we've kind of driven them from the mainland, then the question is, do I want to build a boat? Build boats enough to protect and escort our guys out for their... Answer might not be yes. I might really just want to come over and deal with Babylon instead. Especially, we do have a timer specifically to go end Babylon. The game wants us to defeat Babylon in the next 21 turns. So to do that, I need to stop fighting the Lydians and get over to Babylon. We got this force here. So you're going to do that move. Yeah, looking at the time, this is probably a good place to put a part break in. So I'm going to try to stop being distracted and continue playing the game when we're supposed to be ending. If you're watching on YouTube, there probably will be a part up tomorrow. We made it about 47 years into this run, so that's 40. Let's say we did about 46 turns. This run will only be 220 turns long, so there's probably only going to be about 4 streams in total, and the 4th stream might not be a full stream at this current rate. We are off to a very strong start. Persia and the Rise of Persia DLC, as I think it's technically like the Persia DLC and not the Rise of Persia DLC. Persia in this DLC is very explosive of an opener, as you can see. You take the capital of Medina, and all of Medina collapses to you. 3 of your other neighbors, once you've done that, are just going to start having provinces defect to you. There are things they can do to not suffer that. Like if they get to glorious tier, they don't suffer that. But that's really hard to do when your provinces are defecting, right? They gotta get up there quickly, right? I think they start stable. So I think they only have to get like 5. Maybe they don't start stable. Maybe they start young. I think they only have to get 5 progress tokens to get into the glorious tier. I may be wrong about that. In this case, this one's actually decadent. This is a decadent monarchy. So this one's actually declining decadency. That's probably why they're collapsing so badly. Whereas this one isn't the glorious tier. This is why we're not having any more Babylonian provinces defecting to us, because they've actually made it to glorious. And why we're going to have to finish them off, we are going to have to actually go attack them. But yeah, so it isn't necessarily going to be all free territory for you, and vice versa. If you were playing as them, there are things you can do. It's just not easy for them to do in such a short time. But yeah, so we want to finish most of Lydia off. We want to finish Babylonia off. And then we're going up to face the Egyptians. Legacy-wise, as you can see, we are making the most income in Legacy. Which is actually very nice. On the other hand, unlike Egypt, the Babylonians, and the Greeks, we don't start with any, right? So we are going to have to take legacy away from the Egyptians. I don't think this scenario actually has a, or at least the AI can't win by an early legacy effect, where if you're outnumbered by a factor of 3 by someone else, it gives you the early win. Because the scenario is a short scenario, it's only a 220 turn scenario. Normally that kicks in the normal grand campaign scenario at turn 50. Though in that one, everyone starts on an even playing field. Here, Egypt starts at 7,500. If you're not playing as Sparta, Athens, or Babylon, that's hard to fix for you. In this case right now, if you're looking at it right, if you're playing by those rules, Athens and Sparta aren't anymore in a position where they can make Egypt lose that way, or prevent Egypt from winning. Babylonia still is, but we're probably going to get rid of Babylonia before moving on Egypt, so there's a decent possibility that Babylonia won't. We have made enough legacy that we now have more than Lydia, so we're actually 5th in legacy. We got a way to go before we're winning, but we're on that trajectory. We're on the trajectory where we're moving towards winning. Really, winning for us is bringing Egypt down a peg. Right? If we can roll up on Egypt and take like 3,000 legacy off of them, that'll be a good move. That'll put us in a winning stead position at this point. So we've established a strong start here. Persia's obviously in many ways easier than Sparta. Sparta, the real hard thing is that opening, because the Spartan hoplites are so strong. Although, at this point in the Persian run, we'd be having massive man problems. Here we've got like 300 manpower. I'm literally every opportunity I can, I'm turning manpower into money because we've just got so much manpower. Same thing with metal. I'm getting so much metal here because we've got such a wide empire with such a high availability of metal that every opportunity I'm getting, I'm turning metal into money. And the thing we're struggling with is money, which is kind of the opposite problem we had with Sparta. Sparta, we had a metal problem, we had a manpower problem, we had lots of money. That's the flip side here in Persia. Persia, because we've got, and actually that's actually an interesting thing with Persia, right? Is we've actually got a really cheap army. Our military upkeep's only 16. We're barely paying anything for the army, and yet we have a money problem because it's in one side out the other side with the administrative burden here. We're barely making any money with the administrative burden. Now, to be fair, that might be coming partially from the fact that we got a poor administrator for a government here. And our empire is so wide, right? So the administrative burden is based on the size of your empire, not necessarily how wealthy your empire is. So our empire is so wide that we're having such a difficulty in trying to actually generate any money out of it. But yeah, if we can solve the money problem, I think we're off. Well, if we can solve the money problem and knock like 3,000 legacy off of the Egyptian pinata, and then I think we'll be in a good position to win this run. So if you're watching on YouTube, they'll probably be put up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, the next stream will be in 4 days. Let me save before I do this. Put a quick stream save in here. So as you can see, I do have the saves from the Sparta one. So this is Persia stream save 1. Well, I have all but one of the saves. I accidentally overwrote one of the saves last time. So I'm going to do a quick Alt Tab, which might break the game, but that way I can bring up the schedule for people watching on Twitch. If you're watching on Twitch and you want to leave a comment, this is probably your last time to get a comment in, as I'm reading off the schedule here before I end the stream. So, schedule-wise, today was Field Glory Empire's Persia. The next one will be next stream of it will be in 4 days. Saturday, which is tomorrow, is expected to be Terra Invicta. I think we're going to do a 5-part stream and use one of those 5 parts to cover for the fact we only did 3 parts in the last XCOM one. Get a little bit more time in playing Terra Invicta. It's a pretty long game, so we kind of want the extra time if we want to get it done reasonably quickly. I think we're solidly rolling into mid-game where we're ready to sort of trigger Total War with the aliens and sort of play the come at me card. We don't necessarily have the engines to go to them, but we have the engines to defensively maneuver around our own stuff in Terra Invicta. The day after that will be Shadow Empire as we continue the self-imposed challenge People What People, where we're playing on a planet that, even though the planet is a maximum-sized world, has less than had less than 1 million people on turn 1 on it, at about 900,000 something people on it, which for usually this is a game where the dissolution wars caused the population on the planet to decline. This is a planet where the population went up. This is how few people were on the planet. The population expanded over the 2,000 years of things going wrong. Because that's how few people were on this planet. So that's going to be the challenge on that planet is how few people we have. During the end of the last stream, one of the Twitch viewers suggested we play Humankind. So unless I change my mind, Monday will be Humankind. I need to get a little bit of practice in, otherwise I'm going to make a complete fool of myself on Monday. Because I haven't played Humankind since, like, 1.0. So we're going to play some Humankind, and it's not going to be particularly high difficulty, but we're going to play Humankind on Monday. Unless something comes up. And then Tuesday will be Field of Glory Empires. Continuing this Persia game. Everything goes according to plan. So that's the upcoming schedule. If you're watching on YouTube, at this point in the stream, we should be 6 days ahead from when I'm recording this. So I'm recording this on a Friday. So this should be the Thursday stream, I believe. So all of that should have been recorded for you by the time you're watching this. If you do not have the patience to wait for it to be uploaded and released on YouTube, it should already be up on Twitch as a VOD, although Twitch gets whatever quality the internet can provide. So it's not always going to be 1080p, 60 frames per second. Most of the games I play don't really care about the frame rate, so for upload to YouTube, I think I can compress it down to 30 frames per second. But it's going to be a reliable 1080p at 30 frames per second on YouTube. Whereas on Twitch gets whatever frames they can get, whatever video quality they can get. In theory, it's supposed to throttle it down to maintain 60 frames per second. So, for example, as I'm looking at the OBS right now, OBS is telling me it's throttling the pixel quality. So, Twitch probably doesn't have quite as much of quality pixels as you do on YouTube right now. Although we're not actively playing the game right now, so that probably doesn't bother Twitch too much. Yeah, so that's the upcoming schedule. That's the announcements. I'm gonna go ahead and wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.